Hey guys, welcome to the think tank. Hey Mexi.
Hola, hola, amigos.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm glad it's over. I'm so glad it's over.
Bring on the weekend.
Yeah, brutal.
Jasmine, did you notice when you and I started to talk a few minutes ago, she started right away?
Yeah,
Like
she must
I'm
not
sure
like my
she
voice.
no, I think she does it every time I go on. And she thinks I think she really wonders what the hell's going on. She hears this stuff and I'm talking, but she doesn't know what I'm really talking to, and she's hearing these sounds, and those sounds indicate to her that mom's fairly distracted, so it's like, ah. Hey Perry, good to see you, friend. Yeah, I could have fallen asleep with all of these, oh my word, all of these cases right now. It's like, what? Oh my word.
Yeah, I am over it. Over it. I'm shutting my brain off. Come close.
Right.
God.
She wants 24/7 attention. She and Lizzie have taken to like literally crawling on top of my body so I can't move to go mine. It's like, oh my goodness. I've been carting clothes upstairs and dealing with this and dealing with that.
Hey, Blifton.
Delphi. Good to see you, Blifton. Hello, stranger. Hello. Yeah. I mean, we've got Delphi, like the just imploded. Like, has your head started to wrap itself around
No,
that?
no, not even remotely close.
No,
I'm
no.
still orbiting
Oh, right.
500
I
miles
was
away from
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. Did you check the mileage to see if you could make a weekend trip?
I'm gonna take a layover for a day. That's for sure.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Between Delphi and everything that's going on with that, we just did Coburger, and that case is just like another mind warping case. I don't understand so much of that one. I think Delphi is done. You think so, friend?
Oh, sweet dreams, Mel.
Oh, well, thanks. It was nice seeing you, friend.
Mhm.
Thank
We'll stay
you.
for a little bit, but if you
Oh, she's gonna stay. I'm trying to
yeah,
read.
if you happen to, like, just
Oh,
slip out, have a good night for sure. Uh,
right?
what's with,
Oh my
like, all
goodness,
these
midnight.
I realized, like, in Delphi, Rex HEUERMANN, and with the Coburger case, I've never seen so much, like, hoopla. I guess that's like a bad word for it. So like the Idaho case, for example, you know that guy that was writing those part pieces articles. He just recently did one with Airmail, where he said some pretty bold things about Steve Goncalves.
Oh,
Well, by bold, I mean he was saying that Steve like tracked down some of the grand jury, and he like talked to them and got some info and whatnot. Why are people spilling like these little rumor
Tid,
gems all over the place?
isn't it horrible?
It
Like
is.
it's absolutely. Sorry, I gotta check this. I don't know if that's any better. Yeah, it is. The No wonder these cases are imploding. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, my heart breaks
Yeah.
for Kaylee's dad. It does. But I tell you what, right from the very beginning, Steve Gonsalves was getting his right into it. And it was like, as much as you feel so bad for him, all of that stuff, it could affect eventual justice. You know, I couldn't imagine, and I don't ever want to imagine being in his place. But I mean,
I
I
think they've done
get it.
really well. Like, I think they've done really well. They've done a few interviews as a family, and I think they're very, very well composed as far as like they
Or is
do. They sleuth. They have ran their own little investigation. They know things, and they like keeping it close to the chest, and that's
I
cool,
think
you know?
where the problem is I think they're saying that they got one of the grand jury members to talk. So it's not so much that they got information, it's more where they got that information.
How did he even, I mean, how would you even start to track down grand jury members? They're supposed to be
They're
like super
saying his
secret.
lawyer. They're saying his lawyer hunted them down.
So his
I mean, I'm not
lawyer
saying there
is
is
like
truth to this.
leaking info. What? I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's
Yeah. Who
yeah,
knows?
that's what it's all around, whether it's fact or fiction. I'm not sure. Hello, Dandy. Hello, hello. Yeah, so whether it's fact or fiction, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, I couldn't even imagine. Like, I would want to harm him if that was my kid. I would want to harm him, and I would do my absolute best to do it. It's like, oh, yeah, it is. It's a huge what the Franky.
It is.
You know, I don't know. I just want justice for these cases. Like, so now that with this case, now that these lawyers have walked out, are you thinking that we're going right back to square one? Because they said that all of that information is going back to the courts that the defense had. So they literally, they get new lawyers and they start from scratch, start sending slowly and surely, like it would have to, they would have to start sharing all of that disclosure.
Discovery, yeah.
Discovery.
And I think this should probably go a little quicker, especially because the previous defense has already released what evidence they had received. So that's like a good starting point for the new defense to be like, okay, this is what they received. We should have all of these things as well.
But is that how they're playing it?
Well, they're going to give them all the stuff. I mean, but they're going to have to go through it. And it's 7 years of investigation, information, you know?
Yeah. Hey, James. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they have to figure this mess out, not me.
Me too.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, what have they done to this case?
Can you imagine if it was like one judge that was hearing all of these cases, like Rex HEUERMANN, like Delphi in Idaho?
No.
I would drink on the job.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I can't.
Yeah. It's a good thing that I don't drink, because this past week with all these cases, I'd be drinking on the job.
Yes.
This is what I'm wondering. Defense must have been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. It's exactly what I think, Anthony. Well said. Like, I just think there's more. This case, I don't know. I still have a hard time eliminating Keegan Kline. You know what I mean?
It's hard to believe that he's not involved when he places himself there. So, like, think about this. Like, would we be so crazy I mean, Richard Allen places himself there. So we're going to be like, okay, well, he admits that he's there, but we're going to forget that Keegan Kline also did the same thing.
Yeah. And okay, if he was there fully prepared, how did he know those girls were going to be there?
Yep.
Why was he there with 2 weapons? Why was he there? Because by the looks of it, it wasn't very likely he was just going to walk upon somebody. It wasn't like everybody was racing to get there. It's I'm guessing no sooner than this time next year for trial at this rate. Oh, for sure. For sure. Some people are saying, some of the things I've read, let's just put it that way. Some of the things I've read are oh yes, Blifton. Where was I going with that? Sorry. It's like my
I know,
head's
it's like the brain mush. My brain is mush.
yeah.
I'm gonna be a
There.
help.
James knew where I was going. Definitely not catfished and lured them to the exact same spot. Not a coincident. Waterboarding. Just saying. So yeah, that was basically where I was going with that. What are the chances that this guy would show up fully prepared the day after she was allegedly told to delete everything off of those apps? And you know what I mean? Oh my word, Melissa, right? Oh my word.
Do you know, I had a question. Did they find Abby's phone?
Abby didn't have a phone.
She didn't have a phone? Okay.
No. So the only thing that's really missing from the scene, as per right now anyways, is a pair of girls' gaunch and a sock. Odd trophies, but that seems to be the only thing. Okay, my dogs are going to go off again. Their best friend, my neighbor's pulling up. Which is really, really odd to bring. Those are very strange souvenirs.
I mean, unless one of the socks was missing, like she lost it, like got stuck in the mud after losing a shoe, or a shoe and the sock got stuck in the mud, buried.
Just got pushed down further down the river,
or like pushed down into like the mud, like the
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, and I agree. To me, James, Tony is not out of the woodwork. Personal opinion, me with absolutely no education on the subject, is just my opinion.
I mean, his son's a weirdo, so I can't imagine, like, he had to pick that up from somewhere, right? Father, child. I know sometimes,
I mean,
it skips a generation, but
yeah, and there are some, like, I don't think Ted Bundy had any kind of psychopaths running around in his family.
I mean, but Keegan had talks about
his
having
dad's
like a kind of really messed up upbringing with his dad being kind of an a-hole. Not kinda, is an a-hole.
I heard somewhere that Keegan Kline basically lied about everything in an attempt to reduce his charges. Yeah, he only ended up with 30 years.
I mean, I can't imagine that he lied. He got some charges dropped. For what?
5.
For what, though? Why were those charges dropped? Did they not have enough evidence?
I think you're right, Blifton. I think that Wabasha River, isn't that what it's called? Wabash River, where they did that search, and Keegan Kline got those, they're saying not connected, 5 charges dropped. What was that lake? Or that river? It's Wabash, right?
I'm looking it up.
Oh,
Um,
I wanted to
um,
call it wasabi, but that's like that hot stuff I put on my sushi. Yeah, I think you're right.
the Wabash River, you're correct, yeah.
Okay. So it just seems that that was pretty interesting that he went and had this interview, and then they're bringing him down to that river, and then they're searching that river.
And then what, a week later, Richard Allen gets arrested?
Wasabi! Wasbash. Wasbash? Yeah. I hope LE are taking the time to tie it all together. This delay should theoretically help the prosecution. Bless you, Blifton. So wasabi. It does. Nice, Blifton. Oh my goodness. Yeah, even going through this paperwork, and after I did my last live, I got digging in a little bit more again, and it just still pickles my brain. Like, I feel like I'm shell shocked. Like, what did they just do? What have they been doing? Like, are they as crooked and suspect as they're coming across? Because I tell you what, all of this like Odinism stuff had me like going, I don't know about you people. And then all of a sudden, all that weird crap happened. And then there's a leak that possibly happened what in 2022, friend?
Late 2022. That's like
Yeah.
everything I'm reading and look, because that's actually what I've been doing on my free time, was looking into that. But it looks like
Yeah.
that had been leaked early, right after Richard got arrested, which was like in October 2022, that leak happened. And the defense took the blame for it. They got reprimanded for that.
They did,
And
yep.
everything that I'm seeing online is, I'm not gonna lie, I have tried looking for these leaked crime scene photos. I have. Can't find them. I don't.
They say that they were put on Reddit and then taken down right away.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's the internet. People would have taken screenshots, gotten a screen grab.
Right.
You're telling me nobody has them? Like,
yeah, I would assume they would, right? I would assume it would be out there. It's just what kind of twisted individual do you have to be to, first off, look at these pictures that, I'm sorry, would be absolutely nightmarish. Look at these pictures and then think, I should post those on Reddit. Like, what kind of individual? Like, oh my God.
I have no idea. I don't know. But the reason I was looking for them is specifically because there was all this talk, all of a sudden just flared up. There was this huge talk. Oh, this leaked, that leaked. And I was like, where? It's the internet. If it really leaked, it would be everywhere because people take screen grabs, they save things, they clip it. So I started looking, and everything that I found is stuff that had already been circulating for ever.
Long time.
For a really long time.
Yeah. And not near as mortifying if these are. But with that said, they did say there was an earlier leak. So maybe that's what this is that we're talking about, like from right off the hop. Maybe that's what they're considering their first leak. So The lawyers quit. They okay, the one, what's his name? Baldwin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He allegedly let somebody use one of his office rooms. Now, whether it was a staff member or a friend, we're not quite sure of. And allegedly, this guy somehow got into the Delphi files and put the information on Reddit, put the pictures on Reddit. And I mean, graphic ones of the girls. So the lawyers, yeah, right, Blifton? That's what I was going to say. This is why I think something else is going on.
So remember when we were talking about, or like we were talking earlier, this morning actually, and I was reading that article about those two guys, one from Indiana, one from Texas, who were exchanging messages back and forth.
Yeah.
For a minute, for quite a while, months, at least way past a month, talking about evidence and what's coming up and what the defense just like got in as new evidence and how it works in Richard's favor. It's good for him, whatnot. Going over a plan about how to keep this secret, protect their identities. They knew that they were doing something illegal. There's a gag order.
Yep.
Right? So why all of a sudden, murder sheet says that they were contacted by the guy from Texas, who then turned over all this evidence to them, allegedly, on October 5th, and told them, hey, here's all this evidence that me and my buddy have been like conspiring to obtain forever. But I feel like it's like a really bad idea and it's not good for, justice sake. So I want you to have it and call the police. What? Why don't you do that? Why did you do that from the start? Why did you even get into this little mess of trying to get evidence? It doesn't make sense to me. Like,
no. And I agree with Perry there. I think the defense lawyers were sharing information with certain people. Yeah. I think that's very, very possible. And I think they should be disbarred too. I mean, who was it? I just seen somebody say there should be a trial for this as well. And I think it needs to be looked into. Yeah, can't imagine why they bailed. You don't have to say
it really like doesn't make any sense to me, because they were ready. They came in that morning before the hearing with a whole motion about ready to fight about how they should like stay on the defense and continue to advocate for Richard Allen. And then Richard Allen put in his own affidavit, which is sealed. And so did the prosecution. They put in something that is also sealed to the judge before the hearing. And they were, you know, Baldwin showed up like ready. And then I don't know what happened in the chambers, but he verbally withdrew. And what kind of gets me is that when the judge came up, she looked disappointed, kind of
mad. She looked cranky.
Pissed. Yeah. But she said a couple of things. She said unexpectedly. So it's not like she was like caught off guard almost by it seems like. And then she also mentioned saying something like to no fault of their own, talking about the defense team. Yeah. So was she going to kick them out? It doesn't sound like she was expecting to, kick them out. Or maybe she was just going to get rid of one and leave, Rosie.
Or maybe she was going to say, let me think about it.
Yeah,
And
that
then
too.
meanwhile, get everything ready and then go, yeah, goodbye. I know. Where did I see that? Right? Mine keeps going back to KK. 1000%. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, dude, get your shit together. Bless you.
It is just the most bizarre thing. Like, yeah, it is weird that they can fire, but you know what? Because it was oh, what are they called now? Sorry, I see this is my brain tonight. Because they are set by the state, like set by the judge. What is that called, Mexi? Why am I having like a
State appointed.
yeah, they're state appointed lawyers. He couldn't afford his own. So the judge appointed them so he can also, yeah, fire them as well.
Right.
I agree. I think that's exactly right. Right? Mm. Yeah, exactly. The court has rules. It's like, oh my word. So the official is they left on their own. Yes. Yeah. Some things are saying that they were like, either you do it or I'm going to do it. So I don't know if that's. Hey, Twiggy, good to see you, friend. So, yeah. Let me see here what I can. Okay, so I'll take a look at this real quick. So, defense attorneys for man accused of taking the life of two Delphi, Indiana girls in 2017 abruptly. Okay, I'm going to start this line. Girls in 2017 abruptly resigned from the case Thursday after photographs of the gruesome crime scene were leaked. Minutes into the much anticipated hearing expected to address the leak, the judge said that the court appointed attorneys Bradley Rossi, Andrew Baldwin, who had represented Richard Allen since his 2022 arrest in connection with the passing of eighth graders Abby Williams and Libby German, had withdrawn. The announcement came just hours after David Hennessy, an attorney representing Baldwin, had argued in a court filing that disqualifying either Baldwin or Rossi would greatly prejudice Allen's right to counsel and a timely trial. His trial, currently scheduled for January, but will most likely be postponed, the judge said, so that Allen's new representation can review the voluminous case files. So let's see here. Why did they put in that court filing saying that it would cause issues to Allen's rights if the counsel was disqualified? And then they go in there and quit?
See, you see what I'm saying? And that's because,
Yeah.
like, Baldwin, obviously, I think Baldwin's being investigated because he had a lawyer there that was gonna fight his case for him. I think the guy's name Hennessy, David, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was ready. He
Hey,
came
Emily.
in like a speech and with that paperwork, he was ready. And then
Yeah.
what happened is the question. What
Mm-hmm.
happened?
Mm-hmm. Something like big, obviously, within a very short time. So do you think that they spoke at all to the judge before this happened?
I'm pretty sure Baldwin did, because
Must have.
yeah, he must have. He gave his because he gave his withdrawal verbally to her. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me get back here. Who do you think did it, Twiggy? Curious. Do you think like maybe the Odinists,
I
or do you
don't.
think Klein?
I don't know.
It is basically because of the leaked photos. It is, yeah. So, yeah, like, jump before the push. Better to resign than to be sacked. That's what I was wondering, right? That's pretty much what I was wondering. You know, I mean, it was over. I don't know how they could have saved that case as it was going. I mean, how much was a jury going to be up against with all of this as it was? How are they going to say that the evidence that they actually have that's factual and real and just is that when they've got all of these like drastic mistakes happening throughout the case?
Yeah.
I don't think that there was much else that they could do. Not overly happy about it. The Odinist angle sounds a bit far-fetched. I thought so.
I always just kind of ignored that little piece, because everything else that was in that memorandum
Mm-hmm.
was quite fire, should I say, because they're accusing the state of withholding information, not giving them the what's that called? My English, expulsory.
Exculpatory?
That.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That.
No problem. I got you.
So like all that stuff about like oatness and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
Ellie had investigated it. They had investigated that thing, and even though they thought that it wasn't leading anywhere, the simple fact that they investigated, all of that needs to be turned over to defense. And defense was claiming they never gave that to us until we started like finding little tidbits, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, here's this. Forgot to give that to you." They're accusing Tony Leggett of fabricating witness statements.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was saying that that's not actually what the witnesses saw or described who they saw as wearing. He wasn't muddy and bloody. He was just muddy. Tan jacket, dark jacket. There's a lot of really good stuff in there that I was focused on.
Yeah. I just think it just was. Well, they haven't even started trial for it to be a mistrial, which is the thing. Fabricated witness statements, that's a pretty serious crime. It absolutely is. But makes me wonder between fabricated and confusion, and being that usually human identification is actually fairly a crap way of identifying people. They're usually wrong. So there's that. I don't know. They've got a big mess to clean up. Can they do it? I think they can. I think they're going to have to.
They better address some of those things that previous defense was talking about.
But I don't think they're going to have to. They're not going to have to, though.
Well, if they don't, I'm always going to have questions like.
But
just
that's
seems
probably
like
why they wouldn't put you on the jury.
right. No kidding. I would be the worst juror. Like I'd be like, no, let's take
Let's
another
just go back to
hour.
the other. Yeah, I
Let's
want
take
to go
another
back to
hour
what
and
the
really
other
think about that
lawyer.
evidence again. Like, let's
I
just
want to know what
spend
those
one
other
more
lawyers
day.
were talking about.
Yeah.
Don't just shush it. Let's go back to those other guys. But yeah, you see, it's going to be a whole new ball game. So they just don't bring that in. That's all.
Well, I don't care about the onus stuff. I care about
But even all of that stuff
fabricated
about
witness statements,
it's
the
not going to be part of
withholding
it.
evidence.
It's
Well,
not
not for
part of
them
it.
because they already have it. They're already going to have it.
No, it'll be thrown out. That's not even that. All of that doesn't even matter now. It's all gone. If the new lawyers want to bring it up, they can.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like all of
But
that stuff.
they have to do their own research. They can't go just use the other guy's paperwork and go,
Well,
I'm going to use that
they're
idea.
not going to be using the other person's paperwork. Think about that memorandum was written off evidence given to that defense by the prosecution. So the new defense is going to have all the same stuff. And they already know. They're kind of already ahead of the game because you can't unlisten to what's already been said
in
media.
In a court setting, there's things said all the time that the judges like strike that, strike that, strike
Yeah,
that.
but these are the lawyers working on a defense. This isn't the jury. This isn't
No, it's
like
not.
actual court. So
we're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and see because I don't think that they can use the other guys. I don't think they can use it. I think they can use facts, but I don't think that they can use basically what is just opinion. And that's what that was. That was just their opinion. So, yeah, a different defense might take a different route. That's exactly what I think. Like, that'd be crazy to go down that road. Yeah, and more agony on the girls' families. 100,000%. So I don't know how that, yeah, it has to be evidence-based. And, like those guys with that Odinist story, they were already putting themselves like in a bad spot. People were already going, what? So I just don't think that stuff that the last lawyers that they came up with, I don't think that that makes it automatically evidence. I mean, they can fight over it maybe, but I don't think that they'll win because that was the other defense. Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Distracted because
Oh,
okay. I'm good. Good.
you're back. Okay. So let's see here. The stunning development comes on heels of an explosive and bizarre 136-page memorandum filed by Rosie and Baldwin in September, alleging that Abby 13 and Libby 14 were part of a ritual sacrifice by Odinist cult members who painted a tree with one of the victims' DNA. That memo, in which attorneys argued that Ellen had been arrested based on an illegal search warrant, claimed to reveal shocking and previously undisclosed details about the crime scene, and strict gag orders had prevented others from divulging. Details outlined by Ellen's now former attorney, including the girls, just some of the ways that the girls were left and what happened to them. So, after the September filing, previous unreleased photos of what people believe to be the crime scene began circulating via tabloids and social media. Oh, and tabloids too. Okay. I didn't know that. Including the tree that Ellen's attorneys had said had been painted with DNA, when the Murder Sheet podcaster Anya Kane and Kevin Greenlee, who have closely followed the case, said on October 5th, they received graphic crime scene photos of the Delphi case and immediately contacted authorities. They declined to share any more details about the images, citing the respect for the families and the case. Hennessy, in the court filing hours before Thursday's hearing, said that evidence had been taken from Baldwin, but said that Baldwin had been betrayed by a friend, not someone in his staff or office, who surreptitiously purloined information and disseminated it without his permission or knowledge. So this is what we were talking about earlier. 3 people unrelated to Ellen's defense, Hennessy said, had shared the evidence, adding that one of them unalived himself after authorities began investigating the leak. See, the plot thickens, right? Let me get back over there.
Sorry, I had to fix something with my job. Freaking God.
Oh.
Just it's the last thing. I'm done. It's over.
It's over. Jules had an interesting idea. The defense purposely stated the wrong religion to make people tell the truth. Like, no, it's not Odinism, it's this. Oh, that could be, right? The lawyer said something about he ran out of money. It was financial reason, and that all evidence should be handed over, every single bit of it. Banging her Ron Logan voodoo doll on her desk.
I'm sticking them to the wall with my darts. Kidding, that's evil. Rest in peace, Ron Logan. I'm sorry.
Which is what one of the prison guards subsequently admitted to, wearing the badges, but he wasn't an Odinist. He was something else, like they were calling him a heathenist, right? A heathen. They were heathens.
Norse pagan heathen.
That's it. Norse pagan heathens. Yeah, the guards were deposed. You betcha. Yeah, that's a good question too. I've thought about that. But we're starting to maybe put a couple things together to find out, who's who in this. But it's not easy because they're not putting names out there anywhere. We're not it's just not as easy as I was hoping it would be to try and find out who these guys might be, because I think they might be spread not internationally, but nationally. And if that's the case, then it also makes me think about the stuff that Keegan Kline was into.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Right, Wolfie? Good to see you, friend. The video of him on the girl's phone seals it for me, even though I realize it's circumstantial. It's hard, right? Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Oh, up, down, up, down. It did. Yeah, a self-defense video. Yeah. So I don't know, a little bit more digging, and hopefully we'll start to figure out for sure this little path. But Mekci, if this doesn't go deep, like into corruption type thing, I'll be shocked, right?
The things that I've looked up today, trying to track down who these people, these leakers are. These 3 conspirators.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. It looks like corruption, like straight looks
It
like.
does. It does. You know, how else could so much of this?
Yeah,
I don't know. I hope it's
something
something.
something doesn't feel right. I don't know. I just
Mm-hmm,
like I don't know. I have a
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something doesn't feel right, and I don't know what it
No,
is.
something sits wrong. It does. Because none of this makes sense. Nothing from the get-go with this case has made sense. There's been rabbit holes left, right, up, down, left, right. It's like, yeah. And I mean, right from the very beginning with the witnesses, we've got one with long hair, curly hair. We got one with like a big coat and hat that looks like it's like,
Yeah. And I mean, like, they could be describing literally, like, because think about it, you know, you get approached by police officers shortly after this tragedy, and they're like, hey, were you there? And they're like, yeah. And you just want to be helpful. Maybe you go to them
mm-hmm,
and you just tell them what you saw, right?
mm-hmm,
Maybe those descriptions are correct. Those are people that they saw there.
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
are those either one of those people the people that did
Exactly.
the crime? Like, I don't know.
That video that you and I watched, where it shows where you can get right along that trail, just up a little bit,
Yeah.
and you can walk straight through there. And if you're careful, you won't be seen, and you could make it right to his vehicle. And another way you could go without anyone seeing you is straight to his house, straight down those creeks, and it takes you right to his house. It's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It just, yeah, blows you away. So you're talking about um that video on Libby's phone. And that's the thing. I don't understand at all why we didn't see that whole thing. If not hear it. Something. Like if there's something that they don't want to see. That's what I thought. Doesn't that kind of looks like it does look like Keegan
A
O'Hare,
little.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was not as big then. So there's that. It's a volume. No,
Voluminous.
I'm gonna. Thank you. Conundrum. Voluminous. Yeah, we can help each other talk tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the guy that was on the road, it was not described. Lifton has swallowed a dictionary. It didn't sound to me like Richard Allen. Let's put it that way. The description. It wasn't dressed like bridge guy. The guy wasn't, you know, it just didn't. Yeah, Keegan's alibi is his dad. And dad lied about. Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to pop up. Keegan's alibi is his dad, and his dad lied about where he was. So that's no alibi. Oh my God, this case.
Blifton's been sitting in his cell eating freaking paper off the dictionary and thesaurus.
Thesaurus, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Emily. Look at me. I'm a mess, Emily. I'm a mess. Yeah. Guy going down the what road is that again, Mekci? Do you remember?
Yeah, I actually have the
If,
map open.
oh, do you?
Yeah.
If you pop it up, I'll put it up for you.
Where am I? There I am.
I don't know you are.
It's west 300 north. It's just like a
Did you want to show the map?
side road. I can.
Sure. Have a great night, Mal. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
Almost 1:00.
Yeah. Sleep well, girl.
Yeah. Sleep tight. Okay.
So this is where I put it. I'm not sure if this is where it was. I only put it here because it's past the store where all that video footage is from, where they see the cars passing by. And they don't mention in the probable cause having a guy walking down the road at any time, right? You would think you'd mention that on a probable cause. So
yes,
he might have just been like hiding through the woods, kind of, maybe, and then popped out right around here. And that's where this woman saw what she saw. Oh my gosh, getting closer.
I wonder if I can.
And that was around 3:57.
And that's on 300 North?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is there a way to see? We were looking at underneath the bridge, and then you follow the trees all the way to his place.
Yeah. Let me kind of.
Like it's pretty. It's.
So, right here, this would be Richard Allen's home.
Yeah.
There is a bridge creek right behind his neighborhood. He'd have to cross a road, but this seems like it'd be pretty easy to go through without people noticing. And he could just follow the trees. You can actually walk underneath this highway here. And then he would be over by the south end of the Munon Bridge, closer to where all the activity was. The clothes, the shoe was. The girls were kind of all on the south side.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you think? Yeah, especially if you know the terrain. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not out of the realm of possibilities. That's for sure. You know, and I mean, there's so many things that a person would love to have answers to. I mean, maybe there's a possibility that he is not going to want to sit there and get all of these new lawyers caught up. Maybe he wants to just say, okay, I did it. I mean, the guy has admitted it. Why can't he just go back to that? I mean, he's not mentally incapacitated.
Going back to Keegan Kline, he searched for this Marathon gas station that just so happens to be like a little over of a half a mile away from Richard Allen's house.
So there's also Keegan Kline saying that he was sitting on the side of the road there, waiting for somebody to pop up. He was waiting in a red Jeep, which his father happens to own. But the creepy thing is there was also allegedly a purple PT Cruiser And that's what his mother drives. Like, that's what Keegan Klein's grandmother drives. How many purple PT Cruisers are out there?
Not many. Not many. I can't imagine.
Right? No. No. So I don't know. And I mean, could there, I mean, we've seen what James Burke is capable of doing, and I mean, a whole bunch of not good things. So how do we know that there is not some kind of
Corruption.
yeah, like a ring of some sort? Some kind of ring of
Of
people
weirdos.
doing bad things, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because that seems what Keegan Kline was set up for. That's what his little that's what
Yeah.
looked like to me.
He seemed like he was the catfisher for sure.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
he had Dropboxes and so many other phones. And I mean, all you have to do is just share the account information with someone. And as long as they have Wi-Fi, they can use it on any device.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, watching fish. He said he went on that bridge to watch the fish. So he was how many feet up do we figure? Many. He
That bridge
wasn't
was
watching.
like 100 feet up or something like that.
It's high. Yeah, he wasn't watching the fish. This guy. This guy. It is what makes the most sense, Perry. I agree 1,000%. I do. Do you think incompetent or incompetent and crooked, or I think that one guy Keegan Kline made the fake account and used yes, he did. Oh, you think okay, that could be. Yeah, he lured the girls there and RA intercepted them, told them to go down the hill. That's where all three did it. Oh, hey, Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Have you really thought about all three of them doing it?
I can't imagine that Keegan was involved in the actual like taking their lives, but
in the act, yeah.
Because he would have already admitted it. Like he would have already spilled. That dude is a talker. I still haven't finished his freaking deposition that he had. Like,
Lordy. No.
The dude is a talker, and he would have already said something. He would have spilled it, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Even if it meant that somebody might get at him for saying too much?
Well, I mean, it would be his dad and Richard, and who's going to get at him? Like, they're probably just going to all be sitting in prison. So,
well, unless it meant like some kind of
higher up
people. Well, yeah, and I'm thinking other connections to the drop boxes is what I'm wondering. KK might have been the driver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes sense to me. That makes total sense. So if there was, I could see two down there. I mean, I could see it. One that went up and did the getting, and two of them to walk over. I mean, it can't be eliminated at this point.
I would think if there was two people, that guy who's on the bridge, let's say, would be the one that corralled them, like towards a no escape zone where somebody else would be
waiting.
Yeah.
That's what I
then it'd be easier to control two people if you had two people.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that maybe like the previous defense just seen that these Odin freaking things were on on these guards? Could they have just recognized it and gone, boom? Could it have been that easy?
I mean, that's exactly kind of what happened. That they
Yeah.
went to go talk to him and they noticed those guys wearing patches, but
Yeah.
I don't
Hey,
know. I think
Bruja, good to see you.
they already had some sort of inclination of that being previously talked about or
Right.
investigated. So
Right.
that's probably what really caught their attention, was like, they're like, oh, didn't we see like a little piece of
Yeah.
something and all that evidence that, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many scenarios. I just hope that this does not mean that everything has to be. I can't see them scrapping it. I just can't. I don't think the families would go for it. Yes, he did. He put himself at the scene, and the Anthony Shots account early on were huge errors. Yeah. It
Yeah.
seems that so many investigators got involved all at once. It created confusion. Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? I'm not looking at anything right now that is making sense.
Could it be
Mhm.
incompetence? Because like maybe they're just not experienced enough to handle these kind of situations. Because if we think
Pretty small
about
towns.
Flora, like if we think
Yeah.
about Flora, we learned that there was 2 cops or something that were like highly reprimanded because they like stormed into the house,
Mhm.
and then like they were mad because the firefighters had to go rescue them first before they could rescue the girls.
Yeah.
Like they determined
They
it was
panicked.
a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, they panicked
I
and
hear a
went
lot
in
about
without their
that area not
PPE.
doing things by protocol. Maybe, I don't
Okay.
know. You know, I don't
Mhm.
know. And I heard that one of the investigators, or was the judge or the lawyer of Flora, actually died
Mhm.
in a house fire himself
Oh
later.
my word. Good Lord. But could they have been in over their head? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if they could have.
Because I mean, if we look at Delphi and let's think about like the search, right? Cops were
Mhm.
called at 5:30. They were probably there shortly after that, like kind of combing around, and they searched until it got dark. And then they left.
Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
and then came back at like 2:30.
Yeah.
Why would you leave? If you have every inclination to believe that they are there, the family
Yeah.
told you that they should be there, and
Mhm.
you can't. Why wouldn't you search all night? Why did you stop searching?
Yeah. Unless they just didn't have the
Manpower? There was plenty of volunteers.
not so much the manpower, like the lighting and the you know,
They they said that
you want
it
them
was difficult
to
terrain. That's why they
and
stopped.
yep, and difficult terrain, not being able to see. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, get the dogs involved. Why did they even have dogs involved? Do you know?
No, no.
I don't yeah.
And another thing was that whenever when they got reported missing, they immediately
Mhm.
try to get like location pings and all that stuff
Mhm.
for Abby.
Mhm.
Um, I know that her grandma was even like talking to the carrier at some point
Mhm.
during that time to
Mhm.
try to get location, and they
Mhm.
couldn't locate her phone. Either it was off
Mhm.
or dead. That's what they said. It was off or dead. but then you get a ping at 2:30 in the morning from Moonon.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know if her phone was running out of battery. I don't know anything. Like, I don't know what there would be, if anything, to interfere with the signal out there. Do you know how well are signals out there? I don't know any of that stuff.
Well, if she had T-Mobile, I wouldn't doubt that because they're terrible. Sorry, T-Mobile, they're probably going to cancel me now.
Yeah, get your lazy butts out there and search. Didn't they actually call off the dogs? Yeah, they're just saying that there was that random ping and unsure as to why.
See right here, it says, so after family members arrived at like 4:30, they reported Libby and Abby missing to the police at 5:30. And police pinged Libby's cell phone unsuccessfully and later stated that the cell phone must have been turned off or the battery had died. It was believed that the girls were not in immediate danger. Although some continued the search throughout the night, the official search was called off shortly after dark due to the dangerous terrain and lack of visibility in the darkness.
Okay.
Heat-seeking drones did not pick up on any potential victims.
Isn't that something? "75 yards from the
bridge."
Yeah.
The photographer could see it. I mean, maybe through the lens.
So
that's a bright shirt. That was a tie-dye shirt that she was wearing. If you were walking the bridge, do you think you'd spot that 75 yards away with your own eyes? I think so.
But hold on here for a second. Allegedly found on a section of private driveway that leads to a home?
Yeah, Libby's shoe. So,
wasn't it found in the water by that t-shirt?
See, that's one shoe. But then they also said, so you see where I'm really confused too. I'm glad you brought that up. So they say they found this shoe right here was like somewhere on this private drive. That's the private drive right there somewhere. I just put it over there. But then in that memorandum, it says that one of Libby's shoe was underneath Abby. So Abby was wearing both of her shoes, but then underneath her was one of Libby's shoes.
Okay.
And then if you go on the internet and look up leaked evidence photos, one of the ones that pops up is the clothing in the river. And there's a shoe there.
Yeah, in the river, right?
Yeah, next to the clothes.
Yeah. Because the only I seen it forever ago and it was in the water. Wasn't on a driveway. What the hell is that all about?
Yeah.
The fog team.
Someone explain that to me. Why is there extra shoes? Is the question. Why is there extra shoes? Are those evidence photos actually real or are they fake? The ones on the internet, the ones that show that, are those real or are those fake?
Well, could there be a mistake on the...
A mistake on the probable cause?
Yeah.
Because the probable cause is the one that mentions this one shoe being found over on this side, right? And they don't mention the other shoe.
Yeah.
The memorandum mentions the other shoe.
I just remember seeing that one by a tie-dye shirt
Yeah,
in the
that's
water.
allegedly one of the leaked evidence photos.
And that's been out for a long
A
time, like a
long time.
long time. Yeah. Isn't that sick, Perry? It makes me ill thinking that there are literally people out there that are that twisted, that think that there's something amusing about putting stuff like that out. Unreal. While we're here for a second, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and don't forget to hit that thumb for us, for me, for the channel,
Ooh, yeah.
for
And hit that notification bell, guys. You don't miss.
Yeah, I'm not exactly consistent with my times. It depends on what's going on out there as to whether or not I'm going to wait and what's happening in my world.
I wanted to go back to this because
Mm-hmm.
I was reading. He saw something he couldn't figure out.
Oh, I'm lazy.
That's another thing too. Like, so none of the witnesses on the probable cause, they never mentioned seeing the girls there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nobody saw them there. And Richard says that he wasn't even there at that time. He was there earlier. Allegedly. I don't know how true that is.
And somehow got his picture on her camera. Like, I can't imagine.
My God, do you remember that terrible interview with Doug Carter where he was like, just look at both pictures. And
oh my word.
And then squint your eyes really, really tiny and try to mush them together and see if you can come up with a third
Pretty much.
person. And
right?
that's you're like, what, Doug? What?
No, they're not. What they're saying happened. I don't know if it did or not, Emily, but what they say is that that it was leaked onto Reddit, and then Reddit took them off right away for violating policy. So I can't say for sure. Poor Bruja. So, Bruja, did you know that Richard Allen's lawyers quit? He no longer has lawyers. So this is basically just the repercussions of that new mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. But now it's a matter of finding out who actually did this, because they can't let this just go with a slap on the knuckles. There's no way. And regardless, he allowed someone in there into that office with unsealed cabinets. Like, they could just go in, open up the the pics were sent to the Murder Sheet podcast, and then they contacted the cops. Oh, I agree, Perry. It makes you feel ill for them. Their families must be truly sick at this point. Imagine how confused they're feeling. Oh, it's just It does. It makes you feel ill for them. All that they've had to go through. How is that not him?
Look how deep that water was in that, like,
In that part.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they were. Their families laid flowers for them.
So is that a log that I'm seeing right there?
There's a
Running
really
across
big
there?
log right there, yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm thinking of, right?
Mm-hmm.
I find that very interesting. The guy that found him, was he by himself? Yeah, was by himself when he actually found them. PB found them after he saw some deer and he looked up and there they was. Called his wife and she was with Becky and told him what they'd found.
This is actually
No.
Becky responding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Just see? Like, they can't even keep that stuff straight. Becky Patty, I just stumbled upon a post from 10 weeks ago. I'm sure you're familiar with because you spoke up. My question is, and asking because I don't think it's ever been confirmed and maybe rumor, did the girls or were they ever speaking or mention creepy guy? I would like to put this to rest because I've never ever seen nor heard it be confirmed. Thank you very much.
She replied with yes.
They're calling it a 2-minute video there.
Somebody posted that. I'm assuming it's just like a random person who posted that. And they're saying that Mike, Patty, Becky, and Anna were able to listen to a 2-minute thing of audio from Libby's phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they heard Abby and Libby say creepy guy was still following them.
Yeah.
So it was Ellie that said that. They didn't actually hear that, I suppose.
So Ellie said that one of the girls said, is that creepy guy still following us? In counseling the guy that found him?
Well, allegedly. And Becky's responding that that wasn't who she was talking about, who saw. Like, I guess she's just like confirming who actually called and who didn't, because you know how there for a while people were just throwing out names.
Mm-hmm.
This girl,
That's interesting.
that girl Cheyenne has posted. She was on Moon on that day and posted some pictures. I think she's one of the people that's on the probable cause. I think.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure though.
Who is this person? Cheyenne. So what they're saying, more people were there?
Yeah. Like a lot, like these people are reporting that there was like a couple that were under the bridge when they were there, around the same time that Abby and Libby would have been there.
Wow.
And would speak no more for whatever reason. That's weird. Why would you just like stop talking like about
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Clifton. That's, and it'll show a picture that she took here in a second.
Okay.
That one's interesting too. Read that one.
I thought I had that one that you're going through right
This
now.
is Cheyenne. So she was on in that area around 2:30, I think she said, but she didn't post this till after she left. This is where one of the searchers that blood or that screaming at 2 a.m.
Don't cry, Bedelia.
Idaho captain is interesting. Did I pass it? Go back up. So in this post, someone who says they were part of the search party says that them and their friends stayed out searching. And around 2 a.m., they called the sheriff's department because they heard screaming coming from the other side of the bridge, which would have been like the south side, I suppose. And they told them, I don't know how true this is, that the officers were all busy. But to call back if they heard anything else.
Where did they hear these screams?
At Moonon.
Okay.
Because they stayed out searching, I suppose, and allegedly. And at like 2 a.m. on the other side of the bridge, they heard screaming.
I don't think so, Perry.
Nobody saw the girls.
Yeah.
This is talking about Ron Logan, and someone's coming to his defense and saying he's innocent. Just,
I've got that link. Do I not?
yes,
Why is
you
it?
should.
Yeah.
You want me to just give it to you so you can do it?
Well, that's okay. I'll look through it later. I was just yeah, I'd like to go through it again later. Thank you. See what can be gleaned out of it, because I don't think I'll make much headway. That's what it's sounding like, Emily. Like someone heard screaming. Good night, James. Thanks for everything, friend.
Oh my God. It's like good morning as well, because in like the next 2 hours, he'll probably be up like again. This one this will be the last one that I show because I had never heard this one before.
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about like theories of who could have done it, if it wasn't Richard Allen, like who could have done it?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been kids. And I think this is what this is referring to on Facebook. Like somebody's asking this person, Tina Bogard,
Mm-hmm.
if it's true that they found earrings in Tina's daughter's pocket. What's the real deal? And she says, FBI have earrings. So it's true. Thank you. And she was scuffed up and you wanted to take her to ER. Apparently she was hurt, whoever this girl was. She was sore, unable to walk, not beat up like that. My friend heard me and her talk, Meg covered in rash head to toe, like major. So
Unreal.
Megan, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Yeah, that was the last one.
That could be too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go through it. So I guess really, I mean, we'll see what comes out, but we'll kind of waiting now until the 31st to see where we go from there, right? See if there's any more leaks.
I don't even know.
Right? Oh, I know. My brain's fried tonight. That's about the only way I can put it. Yesterday was exhausting, and I swear my brain did not turn off until I don't know what time, chomping through all of this. And then it was, oh my God, I got looking at the other cases that I usually keep up with, and it's like, oh no. Like, what happened this week? Everybody went mental.
I've been getting up at like 4:30 in the morning and just like diving into the internet on 4chan and like the depths of like a dark hole. So exhausting.
Oh, yeah, that could have been very much, Dave. Very, very much. So, friend, you ready to call it a night?
I want to go to sleep. I want to watch like mindless nonsense, probably the Kardashians or something, and just
That's what I'm putting on.
zone out.
Yeah, that's what I'm putting on. I'm have to finish catching up with my pets, give them all some fresh water, find the Kardashians, and just like numb out to their stupidness.
She was with a couple of friends, Perry, I think. I think Cheyenne might have been part of that group.
The three at the very beginning of the trail.
Yeah, of the probable cause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, all these young girls are now adults.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, sad when you think of Abby and Libby, because they'd be going into, they'd be going into college.
They would already been at college, graduated probably, because that was 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. Well, 2 years in, so.
Mm-hmm. FSG.
Yeah, life isn't fair. Life is cruel, I think, sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's a never-ending puzzle. Life is a never-ending puzzle. You just cannot figure stuff out for
just
every time you think you've got something goes and does a complete 360, and it's like, wow, flannel shirt guy.
Girls. These girls were so cute and just so they had so much potential, and it got
it's heartbreaking,
snuffed out of this world.
Yeah, and I mean, Abby's mom, she only had the one child. It's just, it's absolutely heart-wrenching. You know, I just want whoever did this to get nailed to the wall. You know, enough with the BS and let's just get on with it. Let's get this guy. I don't see where Richard Allen would go, hey, it was me. Hey, wifey, it was me. Hey, mom, it was me. And it not be. Oh, that's it, Dave. Anna, because she didn't want Abby on that bridge.
No.
Yeah. I don't blame her.
And I don't know. This is so tough. I can relate so much to those girls. I remember being that age and being adventurous like that and just being a little boy crazy and wanting to do things on your own or unattended. And
and these were good girls. You know, they were good, smart, friendly, happy girls. They didn't have any way to prepare for the evil that hit them. They had no way to prepare for that. Well, with everything that's going on in this world, I hope they're resting peacefully. I don't think they did ask her. I don't think so. I think they just kind of did it.
Well, I mean, even that friend, Abby had like a friend who happened to receive the Snapchat and happened to take a screenshot of the Snapchat of her on the bridge because, as she says it, like she was really proud of Abby. Because Abby wouldn't have necessarily wanted to do that because it is a scary little bridge. They fixed it now. I think they completed it, but it was dodgy. I wouldn't be on there.
I probably would have been, but as I got older, I like now, no. As a kid,
as a kid, I would have ran through.
That's the thing, right? We could have gone up there and watched fish to our little heart's content.
You have like no sense of what's that called? Like no sense of fear. Like you just don't know the consequences of what could happen of you falling off a bridge like that. Like
this is it. Yeah, this is it. And you feel inevitable or invincible. Inevitable. Yeah, you feel invincible when you're young, you know? And so, well, friend, I think, how about we call it a day?
Yes, a week. Let's
call it a week. Call it a week. I'll probably be back sometime tomorrow and catch up on. I want to go through what you just sent me, actually. And then I want to kind of look and see what's happening with that Suzanne, because we just got some of the best information. Martin from No Bike Ride.
I would say No Easy Bike Ride.
No Easy Bike Ride.
I think it might be.
Was No Bike Ride.
There you got it.
Was No Bike Ride. He's given me access to all sorts of great information as far as like we got minute by minute, let me tell you, what went on in the Morphew house around that time. And it's like mind-boggling the amount of work that they've put into this.
Oh yeah. What did I say?
Right.
And I meant it as a compliment. I don't know if Martin's listening, but I said it was retentive.
Yeah, like it's like, just absolutely
did this.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Like
I'm talking about Excel sheet on top of Excel sheet on top of Excel sheet with
phenomenal spreadsheets that cover like from odometers to almost heartbeats. It's like fantastic.
How many breaths he took, how many times he farted that day. You're like, wow.
Yeah, it's it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, it was great to see you, Dave and Lifton. Everybody, great to see you
Always a
guys.
pleasure. Thank you for having me too.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I will catch up with you in the morning. I'll let you get a hold of me.
Let me sleep in, please. I'm not waking up till freaking 4 tomorrow. Nobody bother me.
Mekci, look at this. Look at this. Oh my God, look at this. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful night.
Hi,
Thanks
guys.
for
Happy weekend.
being with us.
Be safe.
Betcha.
Bye.
Night.